Hello, my friends. Apologies. There was a little bit of uh, connection errors there. I'm back. I am back. So let's go back to our topic, and that's the thing about life. Everything happened. We have to move on. We have to get back on the horse, and we have to go on. So we're going to go ahead with the show as planned. So to the topic for this evening is your past does not have to your biography does not have to define your destiny. We've all got a past. We've all come from somewhere. We've all experienced certain things in our lives. And for a lot of people, their past experiencing are defining everything that they've ever done. They're defining everything that they do, that they're ever going to do. They look back at their lives and they think about the times they failed at something. They look back at the time when things did not go to plan, and for them, they've got these experiences to remind them that they're not good enough. They've got these experiences to remind them that they can never turn their lives around. Here's the thing: we've all got a story. We all come from somewhere. We just didn't show up here out of the blue. We've all got a story. But the people who succeed in this world are the people who deliberately wake up every single day to do something that matters, to do something that is required of them. In life, you can never be successful if you're turning up just saying, oh, well, let's see how things are going to go. You're never going to succeed if you're showing up every day just saying, you know what, where I come from. We've all got a story. But what define who we are the actions that we take. When we make a decision to say, no matter what has happened in my life, I'm going to turn my life around. Nobody can ever take that away from you. No one can ever take that away from you. If you wake up one day and say, you know what, no matter what my experiences are, I'm going to do what is required of me. There's certain things we can do, but we never do because we want to tell a story. Now, before I can talk about how you can overcome your past experiences to give you great results, I want to tell you something that drives everything that we do. I'll give a very, very extreme example. Mother Teresa, Donald Trump. These two people were driven by two similar things, and that is pain and pleasure. For Mother Teresa, it gave her so much pain to see people suffering, gave her so much pleasure to help those people. For Donald Trump, coming number 2 at business gave him so much pain, gave him so much pleasure if he comes number 1 or if he negotiates better than the other. So there's two forces that drive the things that we do, pain and pleasure. Now, when it comes to talking about our past experiences, now you might say, what pleasure comes from talking about a painful experience? Everything in life has got its pains and it's got its pleasures. Okay, everything in life has got its pains and it's got its pleasures. So, for example, somebody who's had a very difficult upbringing might be talking about what they've gone through in their 50s. Okay, they've been talking about something that they went through when they are 14 in their 50s. Why are they still telling that story? They're telling that story because that story brings people around them. And when they get those people around them, they have the pleasure. They have pleasure in that. All these people are gathering around them and these people are comforting them. So for them, that is pleasurable. For them, that is a wonderful thing to do because other people are coming to them and they're giving. So they're getting pleasure from that. So if somebody is getting pleasure from talking about their past experiences, how are they going to change that? They can only change that when they reach a point to say, you know what, talking about my past experiences is just giving me a mediocre life, is not helping me live up to my potential. So I'm going to change that. That's when they change. So a lot of times we hold on to the past pains. No, a lot of times we hold on to the past pains because they bring with it some certain element of pleasure to go with it. Let me give you an example. So for me, I had a friend and I used to talk to that friend about how difficult things were. And that person will come over and they will ask me how things are, and I'll tell them over and over and over again because it gave me pleasure. For me, I thought, you know what, I get some attention. So I tell this story because it does what? Because it gives me attention. It gives me attention. Other people give me attention for telling this story. So I tell it even more. But that doesn't change your life. And here's the thing, you tell the same story so many times, people get bored, they move on. You tell the same story, you tell the same old story, people tell you the same, and you they get bored, they move on. So how do I not make my past to become my biography to become my destiny? You have to understand that every experience is just as in the translation, the interpretation that you give an experience is more important than the experience itself. The interpretation you give an experience is more important than the experience itself. The interpretation of that experience will define the next action you're going to take. For example, 2007, I get my high school exams. I have failed my high school exams. The interpretation I gave that experience was, this is going to be the start of my life. And because I gave it a new interpretation, and because I gave it a powerful interpretation, that changed my life. I could have given it a different interpretation. I could have said, that's the end of my life. I could have said, I can't go anywhere from here. This is the end of me. So the experience itself for me failing high school was not as important as the interpretation to say this is the beginning of my life. So that became more important. That became more powerful. Because it could have gone the other way. I could have said, oh, this is the end. I can't go anywhere. Here's a proof that I can't do anything great with my life. I still had so many things to overcome. I look back at my life, and I look back at the start of my school life. I would take a basic school in Luansha. On the first day of primary school, my year one teacher was encouraging everybody to say, Frank, to sing a song. To say, Frank Chama Saliki Chipua, Frank Chama Saliki Mr. Bean. That was my first day of primary school. And you know, all those things go with you. All those things go with you as you grow up. Those things, because we're where we are and who we are, because what has gone into our minds. So everything that we go through, it's there, it's stored. We're experiencing all the things, and those things subconsciously are there to remind us we're not good enough. We can't change our lives. But my friends, the moment you say, that's it, I will change my life. I will do something about my life. I will do something meaningful with my life. I will do something that is going to change my life. That I will take my destiny in my own hands. That it's not the circumstances that dictate where I'm going to be, but it's how I respond to what happens that will dictate where I'm going to be. It's not what happened yesterday, because I cannot change anything from yesterday. I cannot change anything from yesterday. It all comes down to the actions that I take. So then, how do I transform my life, Frank, before everything? If I was going to experience something wonderful in my life, okay. Everybody always says this. I hope the world gets better. I hope people around me get better. A lot of people never look around and say, you know what? I will get better. I'm thinking of a time that we're living in at the moment. The time of uncertainty has gone on for a long time. 2010, 2020, the COVID pandemic hit, and the entire world went into lockdown, and suddenly the entire world was in a state of uncertainty. Now, with what's going on in Ukraine, you just think this uncertainty about the world just carries on. But even though Everything that has gone on, I dare to say, it's not the circumstances that's going to define your future. It's the actions that you take that are going to define your future. You know, people have got excuses. People always have an excuse about why they're failing. You know what? Me, I grew up with a poor family. So are the other successful people. What they're doing is they've got a story to tell. So they use their past experiences as an alibi. I use my past experiences as a reason. You can have a reason, you can have an excuse. When you have a reason, things get done. When you have an excuse, nothing gets done. Okay, a guy says, well, I just never have a break, me. I've been trying to set up a business and life just doesn't work. A relative of theirs in the diaspora sends them 2,000 kwacha. Do they start a business? No, they don't. They go to the pub, they have a party, they buy so many things. 3 days later, 2,000 kwacha is gone. They haven't even thought about what business they can start in there. 3 days later, the same guy said, I'm just unlucky. I never have opportunities in my life. My parents died so young and things around me never happen. Because no matter what you're going to give that person, they're always going to have their past experience as their alibi. And even though experiences may come their way, they're never going to use them because they've got a ready-made alibi. When somebody has got a ready-made alibi, you can never change because they've got a reason why something will fail before they even get started. A guy says, well, I'm not successful because of the government, because of the weather. Because employers are not paying enough. They give you so many reasons. And I think, you know what? Those are the things. That's everything you've got. That's all you've got. A guy says, I can't succeed because I just haven't got time. Everybody's got 24 hours. Here's the thing. The richest man in the world and the poorest person in the world, they've all got 24 hours in a day. Everybody looks at their life and they look at their past and they think, you know what, I'm going to find a reason why I can't do something. I'm going to find an excuse why I can't do something. Instead of saying, I'm going to find a reason to do something. Why a reason? Reasons become your road and stuff that comforts you in difficult moments. A reason to do something will keep you moving forward no matter what is going on. If you've got an excuse, you will never get anything done. As a life coach, I can tell you this. I got an offer from a businessman, and he wanted for me to do one-to-one life coach. It was a great offer, but it was the biggest offer I'd been given to life coach anyone. And I looked at the money and I thought the money looks good. I went to have a conversation with him. He had so many excuses. And you know what? I said, you know what? I will pass. Because if I carry on with this, you're going to tarnish my reputation. You're going to say that Frank Saliki is no good because I did not change my life. A life coach friend of mine got the same offer. And I said to him, you cannot go to that person. You will never change him because it's not driven by reasons. It's driven by excuses. And no matter what you do, it's going to find an excuse of why something is never going to work. A friend of mine went and coached him, and 3 months later, he came back to me and goes, that man can never change. Everything that I do, he finds a reason why it cannot work because he's focusing on an excuse that is not reason driven. He's not being driven by a reason why something can be done. And this is the problem that you have with people who are past focused instead of focusing on building a great future. I'm not saying forget about your past. I'm not saying wake up tomorrow morning, forget the wrongs other people have done for you. I'm not saying that. You can't just forget something like that instantaneously. But what I'm trying to say to you is it serving you? Is focusing on the past serving you? Is focus on your poor upbringing serving you? Is it serving you? Are you reaping great rewards from what you're doing? Or is it taking away from your greatness? Is focusing from your past helping you build that business, helping you build that career? Is focusing on your past helping you build great relationships, or is it holding you back from having those wonderful relationships? Is looking back building anything meaningful to your life? These are the things that we have to constantly focus in. These are the questions that you have to constantly ask. And these are the questions that I had to ask. I've had a battle. I understand. I've had the battle focusing on what people have said in the past. I've had the battle focusing why my year one teacher treated me like that when I was just a 6-year-old getting started. I have all those questions I had in my head. But focusing on those questions were never giving me the answers that I want. When I started asking the right questions, the empowering questions, my life began to change. What can I do to build a better tomorrow? There's an empowering question. What can I do today in order for me to be promoted to that managerial level in the next 5 years? What can I do in the next 5 years to have that position? That's an empowering question. That is future focused, focusing on what you can achieve in life. My friends, when you're focusing on just what happened yesterday, you cannot build tomorrow. You cannot build for tomorrow because your focus will solely be on the past. All your emotional strength will be focused on what happened in the past and instead of what you can build. So, my friends, when it comes to changing your life, you have to understand. Yes, we all come from. We've all got a story to tell. We've all experienced certain things. And you know what? Some of our experiences might have taken away from our greatness. Some of our experiences might have not highlighted our best skills. Some of our experiences might have been tough, difficult, painful, hard to bear, and they've taken away from our confidence. I can tell you this, my friends, I wasn't doing this. I'm 31. I'm 31. Be 32 this year, getting old. I'm 31. I did not start motivational speaking at 6 years old. At 6 years old, I would hardly speak to people. I started my motivational speaking journey when I was 25 years old. 25 years old, I began my motivational speaking journey. That's just around this time 7 years ago. And I've had to learn a lot of things in that 7 years. In that 7 years, I haven't focused on what happened many years ago. In that 7 years, I've focused on building a better future for me and my wife, and now my little boy. Because that's the only way that I can change my life. That's the only way I could build things that I want in my life, by focusing on what I can do today to build a better tomorrow. My friends, when you start building great things today, the difficult yesterdays will be forgotten. The difficult yesterdays become inspirational stories that you tell other people. I use my past to help other people transform their lives. I use my past to help so many people take their lives to a new level. I sat down the other day, I got a phone call from our CEO from our organization, and he asked the question, how do you deal with this situation? Listen, 7 years ago, a CEO would have just walked past me. But I have done something in the last 7 years that I've got to a point where the CEO will pick up the phone and say, what do you think? You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. I'll say that again. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. And these are the things that you have to focus on. So many people focusing on what happened in their past. They have not even scratched the surface of their greatness. They have not even scratched the surface of what they can achieve. They don't even realize where they can take their lives. They don't even realize how wonderful and glorious that life can be. You can look at your life and say, you know what, I've got all these things that have happened to me and I can't change anything. Or you can say, I'm tired of leading this life. I'm tired of living life this way. I'm tired of not realizing my true potential. And I'm going to go out there and do the things that I was born to do, with the understanding that we were designed for accomplishment. We were engineered for success, and we were endowed with a seed of greatness. My friends, we've all got something special. Our past might tell us otherwise, but I'm telling you today, we've all got something special. We've all got something wonderful. We've all got something meaningful. We've all got a talent that has remained unutilized for so long. Because our past experiences tell us we're not good enough. Like I said at the start of this video, the interpretation that you give your past is more important than experience itself. The interpretation that you the interpretation that you give your past is more important than experience itself. My friends, for so long you might have been told you're not good enough. For so long you might have been told you can never take your life to a new level. For so long you might have been told you can never achieve anything meaningful. For so long, so many people might have put you down. I'm here this evening to tell you, you were born to win. And don't let other people laugh at your dream. When you've had difficult experiences, okay? When you've had a different past, you get really scared. You get really nervous about doing anything great. And I always say this to people. Some people log on Thursday night to think this is the most inspiring thing they see. Other people log on and they think, what's that kid talking about? And everybody's got a different experience. When I published my book, Arise and Shine, I was nervous. I was really, really nervous to have it out there for other people to judge. But my friends, that became the best thing that I can do. You will be scared that the laughers will laugh at you. You'll be scared that the mockers will mock you. That's what laughers do. They laugh at other people's dreams. That's why they're called laughers. That's what somebody will mock your dream. The mockers will mock your dreams. That's what mockers do. They mock other people's dreams. It's like saying somebody's a liar. Why are they lying? Because they're a liar. That's what they do. They lie. So that's why somebody's laughing at you. That's why they do. They're laughers. That's why somebody's mocking your dream. That's what they do. They're mockers. Okay? So my friends, when you come to your dream, I want you to know that it's not where you've come from that's going to define your life. What is going to define your future is the actions that you're going to take today. And my friends, I have to tell you this. I've had to take some painful steps to get where I am today. I've had to take some painful steps to be able to sit here and talk and speak to you. And that's why I've got a desire to speak to as many people as I can, for them to understand that they've got something special in them. They've got something meaningful in them, that they were designed for accomplishment. They were engineered for success, that they were endowed with the seed of greatness. I was just an outcast. Then God took me by the hand. And now I am full of joy. And this is the same joy that I want to share with you. Go and work on your dream. Your destiny your biography does not have to define your destiny. And in the words of Les Brown, If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, and if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of your opposition for it, and if you simply go after the thing that you want, with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or God, sickness of body and brain can keep you away from the things that you want, if dogged and grim, you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will get it. This has been Frank Saliki with Thursday Night Motivation on TV Bakwetu. God bless you. God bless your dream. God bless our country. God bless our world. Take care. Look after you. Dream big. Act big. Do what is required of you. Remember, as much as you dream, so can you be. It's now. Goodbye from me, and I'll see you soon.